going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ask Eggy. So today I wanted to go over a little thing that has definitely been mentioned in a lot of videos, a lot of comments, and I've never really addressed it. So a lot of people, there's not one particular comment, but people always saying that I'm touching my face a lot, and something that you'll note, especially if you've been in a stream or watched one of the stream videos, I have a little bit of a cough, kind of, something like that. And I seem to do it all the time, and people are like, what's the deal with that? Why do you do that? Well, they're just nervous tics that I've got, not like the little bugs, but TICS, little behaviors, that manifest from my nervousness or anxiety. And I thought this would be kind of an interesting thing to talk about because I've had a lot of these different things over the years, especially. Now, I definitely have a history of doing these kind of things. It goes back quite a ways, actually, to when I was just a little kid. And there's a few ones that I really remember that I had that stuck out. I've been doing probably the cough, I would say, for probably about 10 years now. And the face thing, too, because, I can always remember growing up, it would always be, now it's a lot to do with the nose and itching nose, but it was, when I was growing up, I was always doing this, all the time. I would just do this, constantly, through the whole class period. I would just be going like this, the whole time, just because it was a thing. It was one of these behaviors I had. But all in all, growing up for me, there's 3 behaviors I can really remember that I had really prolific moments. And these were all when I was just really young, because like I said, probably the little cough thing and face touching, those have probably gone on for over 10 years now, but there was 3 really prolific ones that I could think of when I was growing up. And the first one was, and this might have had to do, I don't know if it had to do with just being younger and reading the Harry Potter books when I was younger, but I would sit in class and I would write in the air with my finger. I would write words out in the air with my finger, and then I'd push it like this, like I was casting the words into the air. I don't know, man, I didn't have any rhyme or reason for it, didn't have an explanation for it, but I'd sit there and just go, go like this, writing out words. Like that. I would just do it. I did it for over a year, and my teachers were disturbed. They're like, "What's wrong with this kid?" But they kind of gave me some shit, kind of disciplined me a little bit. Thought it was weird, but that was one thing. The next one after that was I was continuously pretending to eat invisible food. I would just sit there in class, and whatever my invisible meal was, I would just dream up a meal of some kind, and I would sit there and invisibly eat it on my desk. Lunch was always a problem for me because I was such a slow eater that I would, I'd eat half my lunch, and lunch hour or lunch period would be over completely by then. So I don't know if it was even the same in elementary school. I would always be late for recess. I would barely even have any recess. I had to choose between food or recess. It was terrible, and I loved to go out. And when I was in elementary school, I'd go out at recess, and I would sit on the swings by myself and swing back and forth. And I would recite memorized game articles and electronic gaming monthly articles to myself while I swung back and forth. It was my favorite thing to do because I thought they were so witty and so funny that I would just I would recite them, and then I'd get to the funny quip, and I would just yell it out to myself. I don't know, just total autism. But so yeah, that was one thing I did for over a year, was sitting there and eating invisible food. And the next one after that came after that, now when I was a kid, I didn't grow my hair out long at all until I was in junior high. So elementary school, I always had, short, trimmed up hair, and I always had a huge head. But the thing that came after the invisible food was that I would sit there and repeatedly just twist my hair up until it bunched up. And then I would go and I would kind of pull it out. One time, it wouldn't pull out. It was really knotted for me doing this, and I would sit there the whole time in class, just until it got hard like that, and then kind of scratch it out or whatever. But one time it got knotted up so bad that I had to cut my hair, and that was something I did again for a whole year. But those are just some of the nervous tics I could think of. I used to have my speech impediment. You'd have a little bit of stuttering. Or I would just have total mush mouth. They used to call me Boomhauer actually when I was a kid. That was one of my things I got called was Boomhauer, because it'd be you sound like this, just total mush mouth, didn't pronounce or enunciate or anything, because I'd always be looking down, mumble, autism stuff. But yeah, so people, when they ask, that's just what it is. If I'm making a video, I'm going like this a lot. It's just nerves. Like, I'm not particularly anxious a lot about certain things. Maybe if I'm talking about a more personal matter, I might be more prone to do that. Or if I'm, whatever, if it's a little bit uncomfortable, you might notice me do it a little bit. I don't consciously do it. It's just, like my nose will just start like itching like crazy. So I gotta like go like this, itch it, scratch it, whatever. Or, I might go like this if I'm kind of, whatever, it's just something. And then the cough, when I get really worked up, nothing usually comes out on camera or that I record for any reason, but if I get really worked up and like just really frustrated about something, or if I'm, doing something and I'm being really bad at it, like if it's handiwork, I'm really bad at it. If I'm trying to put something together or whatever the case might be, and I'm terrible at it, I'll cough like a lot, because it's just a nervous thing. I don't know if it's like a spasm and nerves like in my throat, whatever the case might be, but that's my explanation for that. I think I'm kind of weird, like I'm like all like covered in snot or something. That's not it. It's just nerves, man. So, all right. Well, we'll catch you guys next time.